everyone, and welcome back to the Christian channel. My name is Claire McCallan, and I am blessed to be joined today by producer Kelly McPherson, whose new series about the life of Moses examines the man and the legend in a new, multifaceted way that we've really never seen before. Kelly, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So, first of all, congratulations on the project. How long have you been working on it?
Uh, we've been working on it for almost 4 years, and I came on board, even though it was being produced by our company, I came on board in March of 2021.
Okay, wonderful. Welcome. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not surprised to hear that, the look on your face, and I asked how long, and you were like, because isn't that just like the Bible? Isn't that just like Moses and Old Testament stories, right? Something I am admittedly Catholic, so of course I am reading my Bible for the first time ever now, right? Because the last thing a Catholic's ever going to do is take the time to read the word. So I'm turning 30 and I say, Claire, you've got to sit down and you've got to read your Bible. And the thing that struck me now as a first time Bible reader is, oh my gosh, these miracles take a very long time. In my own
Mhm.
life, I look for God to move. Usually, I'm a reasonable person. I look for him to move overnight. But when I see the stories of our ancestors, it takes years and years and years, and he can promise it this year and deliver it almost a lifetime later.
Yeah.
Which we see with Moses' own story in this beautiful series you've created. God takes his time. He's always working, even when it doesn't always look like he is. But Moses had a painful journey of ups and downs. How
Mhm.
did you go about portraying his humanness, I guess?
Um, well, I mean, it's kind of, we kind of, and we were writing like the description of the show, we said from like murder and fugitive to prophet and messenger of God, and that's kind of where we started, and it's it's it immediately made us. It's like, well, how do you come back from that? That's like the worst possible, crime, sin, however you want to phrase it. That's the worst thing imaginable, and how do you come back from that? And so what we tried to do to bring more dimension to his character is that he's tormented by this, and not just tormented by what he's done, but also like not being able to tell anyone. And that's why when he kind of unburdens himself to Zipporah, it's like that's the turn, and you know, that's where she's on board with what he's going to do, and so we wanted to see how he started to find himself. And like, I think that the two main things that we dealt with, that we said from the beginning, was in exploring Moses, and it's going to drive him, is questions of identity and what's my place in the world. And we felt like they seem so simple, but they're so complex. And people spend lifetimes trying to figure out both of those. And we thought, working from that, that also achieves our thing. Our main goal is he needs to be somebody that the audience can see themselves in him and can relate to him, even though he's in this fantastical story that has all these, you know, truly, you know, magnificent, huge things happening that that you need to still be able to remember he's human and see beyond. You can be awed and dazzled by the spectacle, but at the end of the day, it's the human struggle and the journey and the evolution of him. Um, and I think it's interesting because it's an evolution for him, spiritually, but like, and not these things are mutually exclusive, but spiritually, as a father, as a husband, as a leader, as a brother, as a son. I mean, he wore a lot of hats, and that's one of our experts who wrote this, Jonathan Kirsch, who wrote this amazing biography of Moses called Moses Alive, talked about all the hats that he wore. And when you start listing them, you would never believe that you could have a character that, and I'm talking about a character in terms of the story for the script and everything in the show. You can never have a figure that does all those things and seems believable and doesn't seem like they're pulled in a million different directions. But it's, when you get into the text and everything, it's he did all those things and had to wear all those hats and had all those responsibilities. So it's like, how do you make all that feel believable and accessible? So that was like what we were trying to do.
And you did a fantastic job of it. And it's a really interesting format that you're working with here because in the age of The Chosen, Cabrini, we're getting a lot of dramatizations of saint stories and Bible stories. But something exciting about this project is that you intersperse your dramatic retelling
Mhm.
with historians and religious leaders, which really offers an extra level of insight, especially for Old Testament newbies such as myself, to be honest. And that's something I really appreciated. But you did something very unique, which is you included uh, leaders from all three major world religions. Can you tell me about that decision?
Yeah. Well, that was one of our big challenges was, um, and well, actually one of the big surprises was how much overlap with the three religions in the story and how those religions view Moses. And but we wanted to be respectful of different views or different interpretations of things, but also you can drive yourself crazy trying to thread all the different needles. So it was like trying to find something that felt right and felt like it was unique and specific, but also felt like something everybody from whatever walk of life, whatever your religion is or your spiritual belief or lack of spiritual belief, that you could find something that really touched you and you could latch onto. So what we did do is we had like five different consultants, and we had consultants of every faith and every major faith, and we had an Egyptologist. Um, and so we really leaned on all of them. And and it's always nerve-wracking the first time you have historical consultants or experts, and I mean, you talk to them ahead of time and kind of get their take on things, but you deliver a script to them and say, here, what do you think? And when it's something that's such a well-known, iconic, and beloved story as Moses and Exodus, people are going to have pretty solid viewpoints on those. So you don't know. And I was really surprised how smooth that whole process went. And for me, months before we ever shot the first frame of this, um, the fact that overall we had had such a good experience across all of our experts told me we were on a good path, uh, that we were in the right direction. And you know, and they help. You still have to go with what you think the best way to tell the story is, but I felt like, you know, we managed to create something that everybody could relate to and that they liked and that they felt was
You
respectful.
see these very distinct faith and culture traditions finding such common ground. First of all, it's beautiful in a time when we're so pitted against each other, and you'd think that all we do is disagree. But when you find that commonality, I think it really must speak to the reality and the power of universal truth.
Yeah.
Uh, and when the story is written by God, it's different. It's something that everybody can agree on, and it's something that speaks to the human heart, no matter how that heart has been raised and conditioned. So that's really special. Who do you think should watch this show?
Uh, I'll tell you who I hope watches it. I
Yes.
hope I hope everybody finds it, and I would love it. I mean, I really do. I hope everybody watches it, and I think a lot of people are going to come in and they're going to be like, just from not knowing it and not having seen it, they're going to be like, oh, I feel like this is going to be this way or it's going to be that way. I hope they come in and they're pleasantly surprised, like, oh, that's how I feel about this, and that's I see that represented. Now, is every aspect of the story going to be that way? No, but I mean, I hope people come to it from different faiths, different walks of life, and I hope somebody that doesn't come from like a is not like somebody that regularly attends church or services or whatever. I hope they find it and they come to it and they say, oh, this is just a great story. Because to me, as us being producers and storytellers and filmmakers and stuff, uh, so much of this story, it's like the foundation of movies and stories and television series. It's like archetypal characters and storytelling,
Mhm.
and it's an
Mhm.
underdog who goes on to do this amazing thing and finds himself along the way. So I think people can get into it. I mean, and I also think we wanted it to have that air. We wanted it to be inspiring and stuff, but we also wanted it to be accessible for people that maybe didn't come to it growing up with a story.
Mhm.
So, in short, everybody.
Incredible. And where can everyone watch this and when can they watch it?
It's and John and Corby can correct me if I'm wrong. It premieres March 27th on Netflix.
That's awesome. That is absolutely iconic. I'm the same way. When you're like, I don't even know when my project comes out. I did the work. I delivered it to the people. They'll get it when they need it. I love it. That's awesome. All right. The 27th on Netflix. Thank you so
Yes.
much for your time, Kelly McPherson. Nice
Thank you so much. So nice to meet you.
to meet you as well.